Hello, welcome to Writing Comics. I'm here tonight with Mr. Luke Stone, the creator of Hybrids, and we're going to be talking about his book, Hybrids. He's got his mailing list is up now, so you need to go ahead and get signed up for his mailing list. And on Comicsgate, he has chosen to align himself with Comicsgate. We're going to be talking about that. So, hello, Mr. Luke.
Hello, how's it going? Thanks for having me on tonight. I'm looking forward to chatting, talking comics and stuff, man.
Oh yeah, man. I told you earlier before the stream that I looked at your sign up page. I worked, man. They worked us late, so I didn't have time to. And then we made our schedule last night, kind of late, so I didn't have really time to research everything that you have out there. But I did make it to your Indiegogo page, and Hybrids looks great. You want to give us a pitch on about what it's about and what it is?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So about I keep saying it's about 10 years. It could be longer, it could be shorter. Who knows? You know how time goes, but it's around a decade or so ago.
I got you.
I was talking with a good friend of mine. He was a kind of like a pastoral mentor and worked under him for a little while. But we would have these fun little conversations, and we would talk weird stuff like ancient aliens and the hieroglyphic stuff and all those things. But one of the things
the buried giants. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We talk about that stuff. One of the things we would often kind of come around and talking to is this little verse in Genesis chapter 6 where it talks about the sons of God seeing the daughters of men and having babies with them. Well, it turns out as we were talking and bringing up all this information that we had studied and found on online and through books and stuff that we had read, that several major religions have like a very similar story, and so like a lot of them talk about these kind of angels or like these offspring of God or whatever coming down and having babies, and so it creates this creature called the Nephilim. And so there's a lot of these stories about them out there. And one of the things that we really found intriguing was that all of these stories of the Nephilim actually take place about 1,500 years before the very first writings of the Greek gods. And so people that have read more books and are way smarter than I am, they think that the Greek gods are actually just exaggerations of the real life Nephilim. And so we started thinking, well, what if those Nephilim started having babies with other women and then other babies, and eventually the angel side of their DNA, the supercharged bit of it, like just watered down over time, and it just kind of lay dormant in people. And what if walking around right now, like let's say for instance, Jerry, you or I could probably have this angelic DNA in us just lying dormant in our bodies. And what if one day something happened to wake it up? And so instead of a dormant trait that would give you red hair or blue eyes, you could have a dormant trait that would, if awoken, could give you the ability to lift buildings or teleport or control things with your mind or fly or all that kind of stuff. So you start thinking about kind of all those different things that it could do. And so that's kind of what we landed with when we were talking about it. He was like, Luke, you need to write a comic book, because he knew I was into comic books. And so I started working on kind of this idea of this universe, and I started working on it back with some friends and stuff, but just never really developed until about 2015, 2016. I had really been talking with some friends, and they said, hey, remember that concept you had? Why don't you write something? I said, well, I don't want to just do a book that's just about people that get superpowers. It's got to have some cool twist to it. And so in our universe, what happens is like seemingly overnight, people just start developing these powers of the Greek gods. And no sooner do they start to develop these powers, these individuals start to vanish. And so we actually follow this group of people that have some really like personal ties into what's going on. They start following, they're trying to find out who's taking these people that are developing powers, why they're taking them, and where they're being kept. And so they try to find out those three things. And so basically what we do is we really try to take this little small group of some superpowered, some not superpowered guys and gals, and they are trying to find out where their loved ones are being taken. And through the process, you get to see the story through this guy's eyes. Trash Man, this guy here behind me, you can see him. So you get to see through this guy's eyes kind of the start of that story, but you get the world kind of expands there. And you wind up finding, they unearth this human trafficking ring that is centered around these newly supercharged individuals. And so that is what the Trash Day arc is about. And so that's 5 issues. And so we just completed the 5th issue and did the Kickstarter for that a few months ago. earlier in the year, right around the time everything started closing down, when the great pause started. And so we were able to do that and fulfill that. And then we created some new content and stuff. And so it's coming out now in this Indiegogo. So, and I think I lost you. Well, it looks like I am alone for the moment. So, so if there's anybody watching, Hybrids, the Sons of God, I have really enjoyed this project, really enjoyed writing it over the years. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been real enjoyment. And Jerry is back. There we go.
Surprise, you're doing it on your own.
And on my own. I've hosted a few shows, so I was like, okay, and this is happening. So.
I'm in the I have to stay at a hotel during the week because of my job, but and then so they'll randomly have to make you re-sign up for the hotel internet.
Oh, yeah.
And so it cut me off, and it seems to do it right at around the time I do a stream. So it's like I'm cursed. My streams are cursed with internet problems. Yeah. So, but I missed what you were saying. But the idea sounds really great because anybody that's read the Bible or familiar with the Bible always gets to that point where the sons of God married the daughters of man, and your imagination just goes wild. But there's what that means, And then,
there's a lot of different things that it could mean. But I go to the most literal sense, especially when you're trying to write a really cool comic book. Might as well, right? Yeah.
If it's a comic, you don't have what we always talk about. You don't have a budget like Hollywood. You don't have a budget. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. So man, make it as awesome as possible. Yeah. So you want to pull up the page so we can watch the video?
Sure. Yeah. Let me do that. I tried to do it earlier with someone, and they were not able to hear the audio, but maybe it'll work today. I'm not sure.
Well, I can pull it up. I lost it whenever I got disconnected. So it'd take me just a second if you want me to do it.
Okay. Yeah, in case the audio is not working.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
But I can show the kind of the rest of the campaign. I do have that available for people to see.
Okay.
This is kind of a sneak peek to the what I'm building right now, so I can show some of the art off and things like that.
Okay. Well, I put the sign up page up, so let's do that first, I guess.
All right.
Let me know. Let me know if the sound is working okay.
Yeah.
Several major religions across the globe recount a similar story about angels or sons of God who take mortal brides. These unholy unions produce a creature known as the Nephilim. Stories of the Nephilim predate the first known writings of the Greek gods by nearly 1,500 years. Many experts believe that the tales found in Greek mythology are actually just exaggerations of the real-life Nephilim. With so much of history pointing to the reality of this event, what if the Nephilim really existed? Our modern knowledge of DNA tells us that it is possible to pass down a fraction of that angelic DNA to their offspring, and that it is possible for people today to be walking around with this hybrid DNA. So, what if something happened to awaken that dormant trait? Unlike other dormant traits that may give you red hair and blue eyes, this trait, if awoken, may give you the power to lift buildings, or teleport, or even control things with your mind. In Hybrid, the Sons of Gods, that is exactly what happens. Seemingly out of nowhere, people begin developing godlike abilities. However, they vanish soon after they develop these powers. It takes a small band of intrepid heroes with a very personal connection to these events to unearth who is taking these people, why they are being taken, and where they are being kept. In Hybrid with Points of God Volume 1 Trash Day, we discover the answer to these 3 questions. We also have a special look at what happens just beyond the main arc of Trash Day in the expansion story Seraphina No. 0. This added content explores one of the rescued characters from Part 5 of Trash Day and gives us a deeper look into what it is like dealing with trauma from the inside. This volume also includes an exclusive 4-page post-credits scene that gives more depth to some of our characters and begins to establish a new order for our universe in the next arc. We have also included several pages of additional creator notes and art for fans of the Hybrid universe. Jump into the action today to support this special volume of Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, and find out what everyone is talking about.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you. I cut you off early. I didn't realize there was the end of it.
No, that's okay.
But we had you here live, so.
Yeah, you're here to do a live. Yeah. So basically, I just, at the end of that, I thank all the people that have really supported bringing the project this far. And I'll be honest with you, Jerry, there's been a whole lot of people out there that have helped get this far. Just the support from those fans has been paramount. And but I'm also well aware that not everyone has seen this story yet. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing the story with brand new people. And one of the coolest things about this project is that when it comes out, there's going to be some extra creator notes and things in there. But really, this was the first script that I had ever written, like on my own. Like I had done prose stuff and said, hey, this is what I want done. And then writers would take it and do it. And then I would draw it. But this was the first script that I scripted the whole thing out and I did every aspect of it, And so it was also the first script that I started working digitally with. And it was like really 100% digitally. And it was really cool to do that. And you can see my growth as an artist and as a writer through the whole progress of issue 1 to issue 5, because it took a while, because I started in 2015, 2016 with the first book, but then I had to take a couple of years off because there were some things with work that I just needed to really focus in on at the church I was at. And so the whole time I'm growing personally, emotionally, spiritually, all of that stuff. And it's really good that it took a while, because I grew a lot with my talent, with my art, but I also grew a lot as a writer. But even more so, I was able to take a lot of the things that I had experienced and kind of interject them into the story, which was really cool. So this I'm really proud of this volume, but it's for everybody that picks up on it, that has been with me or that jumps on now, you'll be able to see the progression of an artist and storyteller from the first page to the end page. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat thing to be able to show.
For anybody that hasn't worked in comics or done anything in comics, the amount of work that it takes to produce a book is just, for me, it seems like it's just overwhelming. And it takes a lot of willpower to start and to finish. And then you have 5 books that are already, you just finished your 5th book. That's right, I think.
Yeah. And we are starting our 6th already. So
do you want me to okay, so that's a question. When you started the first book, did you know there'd be 10 volumes, or did the story just progress and you find ins and outs?
That's a really good question. Actually, there's going to be 15 individual volumes, like issues, and there's going to be 3 total volumes of trades. So I release 5 issues at a time, and then I do the trade and then put all the extra content in there.
Okay.
And then I'll do the next set of issues. So that was the plan from the beginning. But yeah, there was actually the 3rd volume is the story that I really want to tell. I can't wait to tell that story. But I understood that no one would care about that if I didn't tell the other stuff. And so I had to go all the way back to tell this first bit of story, and then the second bit of story really gets juicy, and then
that's that last on the end of the whole series. You know, it's kind of like I know what you're talking about, because you want to just throw it all out there so the world can see it, but you have to, you know, you got all that work ahead of it. So it's but you'll be glad when you get there.
Yeah, I will really be glad. Yeah, 10. It's a lot of issues, but I wanted to take it in chunks, and so by doing that, it also gives me the opportunity to work on some other things and be able to get my name on a few other titles, and to kind of like kind of cleanse the palette from the Hybrids universe and go into something else for a minute and then come back to it. So
it's actually 15, Sarah. I keep saying 10, but it's 15.
Yeah, there's going to be 15 of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I don't know. Like, after people ask me, "What are you going to do after that one?" I'm like, I have no idea. I'm sure I'll come up with something or think of something.
If you're creative, you can't not create. You know, you'll have something. You've probably already thought of several things. You just hadn't decided what, if you're like me, what you're going to focus on. I don't know. I'm speaking for you. But do you want me to share your screen so you show this other part?
Sure. Yeah. I'll go ahead and share this campaign out, and so this, you can't see this now. If you go to the URL, what you're going to get, you're going to see the video that you just watched. But this is going to be the Indiegogo. Like right now, when you go to it, it's the sign up page, but it will wind up being this when we launch next Tuesday at 5 p.m. So that is our launch, is next Tuesday at 5 p.m. And I see Sarah is in there. Sarah has been talking. She asked about the 10 volume. That's someone I've been talking with on Twitter lately, and so that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and so
thanks for hanging out with us, Sarah.
And so so you go through here, and you know, there's going to be 3 different covers that you can get for this, and then each cover has 3 different tiers, if that makes sense. And so you can get this first cover, the standard. You can get and I'll just go ahead and show these really nice looking covers here. So you get the first cover, which is our standard one. And basically that's just kind of like this collage of all 5 issues. I wanted something that would be kind of neat, just to kind of, I thought it grabbed my attention. So I liked it.
Yeah. I like the way that it portrays, like the guy on the left, that's the trash man. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then on the right, I'm assuming that's a demon or the devil. And it's like the demon is standing there proud, like he's defeated the trash man. So it's pretty cool. I like the way that it portrays that on each side, and the red and the blues.
I'm glad you caught that, because that was very intentional. That was very intentional. I wanted to bookend it like that. And we're going to have this holofoil cover available. This is Brian Dawson does some of my layouts for me and does some other work for me on other projects, and he did this cover, and I just thought it looked amazing. And so it was originally a part of a connected cover with another bit of comics, but it never got used for that, and I paid for it. So I was like, you know, this is going to look great on the trade. And so this is going to be our holofoil, and so it will have like kind of a special look to it, special paper.
Yeah.
And there's a third cover that is being drawn by Kanan White. I'm not sure.
Oh, man, I love Kanan's art.
He's fantastic. And so he's going to have the Indiegogo exclusive cover it's only going to be available on Indiegogo. It's not going to go anywhere else. And I'm only making a limited number of those. And so basically how it works is I've got the 3 tiers. So you can get the standard book for $25. You can get the holofoil for $35, and then for $5 more, you can get the Kanan White cover. And then I have a next step up, which is going to be, and I don't have pictures up for it yet, but you've got the collector's edition, like the collector's pack, and it's going to have a bunch of extra goodies in there, like bookmark, a Hybrids bracelet. It's going to have some mini posters. So I'm have all these classic mini posters that I've already done that are going to be in there, but I'm also making a set of mini posters that are basically they're kind of homage covers from like old famous covers, and I'm redoing them as redoing Hybrids covers and stuff, and so making little posters of them. Yeah, and so I'll have some of those posted up here soon. I'm still working on the art and the colors on those, so that's pretty cool. And then so that's the kind of collector's pack, and then I've got like the ultimate collector's pack that's available. And basically it's all three you can get all three covers, but also you get a t-shirt and stuff and a couple extra collectibles with it. So there's some other stuff that you can get in there with that. And then I've got this thing called a super box, which is $250, and it's basically everything that I offer goes right in the box. So everything will go in there. So you'll get all three covers, you'll get, and if I add extra stuff like extra perks that you can get later on, that automatically goes in the box. So it's by far the best value, but I'm not selling very many of them because if people really wanted everything I had to offer, I would lose my butt on that one. Yeah. But here's some of the art from the backup story that's in there, the kind of end credits thing. We introduce a new villain, and so that's pretty neat.
With those long claws.
Yeah, he's pretty wicked. he's a fun character. And then this is some just a pinup piece from the Serafina book, that little side story that is also included in the trade. So you can see that. And then here's some of the issue 5 art. This guy plays a big part in the next arc, this number 128. His body bag, and he is a very, very wicked individual. So, and you also get to meet some of these other people in there. So
he is a big
one of my favorite
individual.
Pages. Yeah, he's a big one.
I saw this. I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it's on your Twitter feed.
Yeah, I think I might have shared it there. Yeah, and it's obviously I've been sharing a lot. I've been going crazy sharing all this stuff, and then this is kind of the reveal of our main antagonist, which you get to see near the end of issue 5, and that's Azazel, he's pretty cool.
I got you. For the Book of Enoch.
Yep, exactly. And then that's Trash Man, or Clarence. He doesn't like to go by Clarence. When he was a kid, they used to pick on him, call him 9-foot Clarence because he was so big. We never even talk about that in the books yet. Eventually, I'm going to talk about it in the book because I think it's hilarious, but most people don't even know that's even a thing. But that is, that's some of the backstory for Trash Man. And then, as you see, like I start going down, and so this is like a couple of samples from each issue, and so this is issue 3, and you can see like how my art evolved, and so you're actually looking at a de-evolution at the moment. And so this is issue 2, and you can see that the panels. 1.
The panels seem a little less dynamic to me. Like if you go up there to where 128, the guy 128, you got that angle where he's standing there and he just looks huge. I mean, that panel is just that one too. Also with the Trash Man, they just got a lot of it. Seems like a lot more energy. So I started working with. Yeah, I started working with some good layout artists who would kind of help, since I was working on so many things, like they would help me out with that. And I got really, I started understanding, the flow and pacing of a book better. And so, as I would work together with more creative people and I would see it, I just grew as an artist and a writer. So I started seeing what needed to be fixed and what needed to happen. And so it really, it paid off, but you can see that from issue 1 to issue 5. And so people have asked me, are you ever going to go back and fix issue 1? And as much as I would love to go back and redo that, I'm not going to do it because I would rather spend the time and effort on telling more bits of the story. Yeah. And it's kind of cool for the fans. I've had a lot of them. Yeah. And I've actually had a lot of the fans say, I really kind of like the idea of being able to kind of watch your progression, like over the years. And so, and be able to follow that. It kind of brings them to the inside a little bit and kind of connects us in a way that, you don't really get to connect with, you get to watch that in a person's career normally over the course of a number of years in different works, as you follow them, like let's say, with any artist, like if you follow Todd McFarlane, you'll notice his work, how it changed and developed and adapted. You normally get to see that over a number of different pieces and over a larger span of time. Well, I basically take all of that down and you get to see it in one work in one volume. So you get to really experience that whole thing there. Yeah, it's really neat. So you said when you back, just so I'm clear, and other people that may watch are clear, when you back, you're getting a trade that consists of 5 volumes. Is that correct?
You get a trade that actually consists of 5 floppies. So it's 124 pages of the original story, of backup story, and new content. So you're getting a lot. And I've got a stretch goal set at 8,000 that if I can hit the $8,000 mark, we'll put 12 more pages in it.
No, sir, I don't draw. I have wrote a book called Every Matter. It's on Indiegogo as well. You can sign up for that newsletter. So you'll just get notified when the campaign launches. But I have an artist named Carlos Trigo who I work with. He's an amazing artist. So you check that out and let Scott answer. She says, do you both write, draw your own books? The art here is fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. I do write and draw most of my own books. So I write and draw this one, but I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of drawing for other people who write. So, yeah, both.
A lot of work.
Yeah. A lot of work.
All right. So why Comicsgate?
Why Comicsgate?
Why Comicsgate?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question right now. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and we can just we'll go big here and talk. So why Comicsgate? You know, I have been Comicsgate adjacent since probably 2015, 2016, really. You know, and kind of when it really started kind of becoming its own movement. You know, it was around a little bit longer than what most people realized.
So by adjacent,
what was that?
You just kind of by adjacent, you mean just kind of on the outside looking in?
Yeah. I agreed with kind of the core tenets, you know, like kind of 5 basic things, you know, don't, stick political agendas and things in there that don't belong there. You know, unless it's organic and it works in the story, don't do it. I didn't like the fact that they were pandering to a group that didn't even buy comic books, and just because I didn't like it, somehow I was a toxic individual. It's like, no, write better comics and I'll like them. It's not my fault. It's not my fault what you wrote sucks. I'm the one with the wallet, and then just to, the way they would treat the fans was terrible. And I didn't like how they would really try to force like agenda items and things like that. I just didn't think that it
seemed so forced. It wasn't like they were just trying to slip it in there. It just seemed so just beat you over the head with it. It's just
anyone can tell when they're being preached to. I should know. I mean, that's what I do for a living. I'm a preacher. People know when they're being preached to. They know when you're trying to make a point, and sometimes those points, it just seems out of place. And, and you even see it now, like they're having characters do things that's uncharacteristic of who they have been, and things like that. And I understand it's a character and you can rewrite them however you want, but for some of these, at some point, these characters aren't yours anymore. They're the fans, and the fans want what the fans want. And to think and to be so rude and just uncaring of the fan base, of the people that buy comics, that have read comics their whole life. It's just stupid that they would do that. And so I've been working, I've been Comicsgate adjacent for a while. I know several people who are Comicsgate. And actually I'm learning more and more about more people that are. I've worked with a lot of people that were also Comicsgate adjacent or Comicsgate friendly. But it just kind of came to the point, especially with this whole, looking at the Wonder Woman cover.
Yeah.
Man, when that happened, my wife and daughter hated it, and I've been a Wonder Woman fan for my whole life, and I'm like, this is just really bad.
But let me stop you right there for 1 second. Speaking of Kanan White and that special Indiegogo only cover that's coming out for hybrids, did you see his rendition of the Wonder Woman cover? He's like,
I did not. I didn't get a chance to see that. It probably got buried in my feed.
Yeah, he was just this is a warm up, and it looked amazing. I was like, there's no way that's a warm up. I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that. If you have a chance, go look at his cover, man. It looks pretty. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yes, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, so just kind of, realizing that I had been working around people and doing things the way I had been for a while. That was, and then just like eventually you lift your head up, and the next thing you know, you look around and you just have to identify the fact that I'm Comicsgate. I've been around these people all this time, and so I just decided, it's the right time. I didn't, I just started a company, and I didn't want to. I just saw that, Peter Simeti had finally said, "Hey, look, I'm Comicsgate, guys," and
Yeah.
I saw like what that had, like some of the struggles and turmoils that has caused with where he's at and his kind of his
Oh
journey.
man, he's been through it.
He really has. And so I know I'm at the onset of this new company called Terraform Comics. By the way, terraformcomics.com, go buy, sign up for the mailing list. So kind of on the onslaught of this, and I didn't want to wait until we were a year or two in to make the announcement and then like have those problems. I thought, now's the time to make the announcement. And the community, a lot of people will say that the community is this or the community is that. And I'm a firm believer that you have to view it and you make an assessment with your own eyes. You figure it out for yourself. You don't listen to what other people say. And when I looked around, all the people that I met were completely diverse. They were very polite. They were very kind, and they were very professional. And I was like, this is the kind of people that I want to associate with. These are the kind of fans that I want. These are the kind of coworkers that I want. And so I decided to make this leap and say, look, I'm Comicsgate, knowing that it would probably damage a few of my my relationships. But the thing is, I've been working in comics and independent comics for a while now, and I've got a reputation with those people. And if they can't reconcile the fact that my values, like I would never compromise my values to align with a group, or I would never even align with a group that I thought contradicted my values. And so my reputation should stand for itself with people that look, this is, I'm an inclusive, diverse individual that spends time with a lot of different kind of people, that works with a lot of different kind of people. I'm respectful, and we try to be kind and leave the woodpile a little bit higher than we found it. And I hope that people will take pause and think more about what Comicsgate really does mean if a person like me is willing to openly say that I'm Comicsgate. And the truth is, I know a lot of people that would openly say they're Comicsgate were not for the fear that they were going to be ostracized from what fans and what community they do have inside of the kind of the middle of the road, the neutral side of things, if you will. And I'm seeing that it does happen, it does happen, but really those, I feel that what I'll be gaining by the network and the community that is Comicsgate far outweighs what I'll lose by coming out Comicsgate, or what I would keep if I would say that I wasn't. So that's why Comicsgate for me.
I think I did the same thing pretty much as you did. I was a movie buff, but I had this story I wanted to tell, and I've been beating it around in my head, just rolling it over different aspects of it for a very long time. And I read comics. I actually had ElfQuest. I had several of the trades from ElfQuest. I don't even know what volume they're on now. I stopped keeping up with it, but man, I left my house. I left them at my mom's house. My mom's house wound up flooding, and they ruined those trades. But anyway, I had I stood on the outside and I looked in, and I saw what people were saying about Comicsgate on different social media circles. But like you said, I got to look at it with my own eyes, and I was like, man, this is something I had never seen people come together like the people in Comicsgate come together. They promote each other, and they're like you said, professional, and they're nice, and they lift each other up. For the most part, they lift each other up rather than tear each other down. And it's got that just and it's all organic. It's all natural. It's just people being good people
everywhere. There's bad players everywhere. It's gonna be people. I don't agree with everyone that says, hey, I'm Comicsgate, but the same thing, I'm a libertarian, and I don't agree with every person that says they're libertarian. I'm like, okay, well, that's stupid, and people are still allowed to have their opinions. I mean, that's the great part about being an American. You're allowed to have an opinion, and you're allowed to share that. You're allowed to have your viewpoints, and it's free speech. But your work shouldn't be canceled because you have a different opinion from someone else. And I just don't, and I see that happening all the time on one side of the industry and not so much on the other side. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. And I see Sarah says that she's basically the same situation Comicsgate wise. And
yeah, on the outside looking in, you might as well just claim it, because the people will take you in. They'll, whatever work you're working on, they'll support it. You know, I've not met anything but support. So I can't say, you know, from what I've seen, I haven't seen any of those negativities that people claim. I think it's, you know, it's like your mama used to tell you when you come home from school, somebody been picking up, they just jealous. Or I think that's a lot of what it is. Really, it's kind of like high school stuff. Really, on some of the stuff. But yeah, it's been all positive for me. So I can't sing the praises enough for the people that I've dealt with. And but Terraform Comics, what is that? Explain to me what that is.
Well, Terraform Comics is a collection of different creators that were kind of in the same place in our careers, and we kind of want to get to that next level. And we realize that in order to get to the next level, we got to kind of bust through a few walls, and we could easily bust through those walls by ourselves. But it requires, I think, together collectively we could do it better. There was this episode of Doctor Who that I remember where the Doctor kept going through this little time loop where he kept coming into like this wall in time or whatever, and he would get there, and the only thing he had was his fist, and he would hit the wall, and then time would click down, and he would just go through the loop again, and he would keep going through the same thing, and then just and eventually he busts through the wall. But I thought, we could do that ourselves. And every time we have to reboot and start over and try to get to that next space, that next level, and hit the wall. But it's so much easier if we do it together. And so really that's what the idea from Terraform Comics was. And so a group of us decided to work together to make that happen. And we are in the process of what we say, changing the landscape of comics. And so we're trying to reimagine what it looks like. So
yeah, that's a cool slogan to go with the name there, changing the landscape of comics. Man, Hybrids looks great. What else do you have in the works that if somebody was looking for, if they were Luke Stone fans and they were looking for all the works of Luke Stone, what would they find, and where would they find it?
Well, right now, Hybrids is there's other stuff that's out there. I don't really talk about it too much, but the other thing that I really am working on right now is a thing called Voodoo Nations, and it's got a little over a day left, I believe, on our Kickstarter, and that's when I'm working with another partner and stuff. And so he was a little surprised by my announcement of becoming Comicsgate and things, and so I'm not quite sure how he felt about that particularly, but hopefully everything works out well with that. We are. So this story is really cool. Basically, he wrote this thing, and it's about two missionaries that go to Brazil, and they wind up getting their world turned upside down by this diabolically wicked voodoo doctor named Bishop Lucas. And it's this 4-part miniseries that treks the world, and it's one heck of a horror suspense. It's some of the funnest stuff I've ever drawn. I've really enjoyed it, and it's a really cool book. And so we've got just a few more hours left on this thing, and it's we're sitting at almost 250 backers on that one, which is pretty good. And we're nearly at $5,000, which for a middle of the road, kind of that neutral area for creators, especially at our level, that's darn good, And so we're pretty happy with that. It's a real win, a real success. So that's what I got going on. So you can go, if you go, anybody listens and they do like to use the Kickstarter platform, go buy Kickstarter and look up Voodoo Nations, and that is live right now. And so that's pretty good. So yeah.
But your main what you're promoting now is Hybrids. So
Hybrids. That goes live on Tuesday.
Yep, on Tuesday. So Tuesday, make sure you're there to back. Make sure you go sign up for the newsletter, because even if you're going to back, if you're going to back, it eases the mind of the creator if you sign up for the newsletter, because it kind of gives you an idea of who's interested and how many people's interested, and especially if you have money tied up in the book, or if it just shows support, and it also encourages the creator too, because I know every time I get a new email subscriber, I'm like, yes, I got somebody that's interested, because it's a lot of work to put out a comic book, and you want people to be interested, you want people to read your story, and it's just it's a little trophy, a little victory, when you get
it is It's funny, you know, when you look at like those metrics, like 137 came, but only 40 people have signed up for the mailing list. Like, why could I not like win with these people? And I'm right now, I'm two people signing up for that mailing list away from 50, which is pretty good. So,
Oh yeah, you gotta break
going pretty
that.
good right now.
So if you watch the stream, if you're watching the stream, Sarah, I know you probably you said, Luke said John had been talking today, so you've probably already signed up, but whoever watches the stream or catches the replay, go sign up, hit that 50 mark. You know, it's like I said, it's a little victory. It's always fun to see people signing up. I didn't even know they had metrics. I didn't even know you could see the metrics of how many people came to your page. So after the stream, I had to go look and see how many people went to my page. I've just been kind of looking at the number on the mailing list, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point.
Yeah,
I guess.
You can you can see it when you go to the pre-launch page. You can actually see it because it's not in the dashboard yet, so it shows you the pre-launch stuff, and you can see how many people have gone by and checked it out. So I'm at a 20% conversion rate from people coming to visit the pre-launch page and signing up. So
hey, 20% is good. I run a website and they're like 3% is good. So if you're getting 20%, I mean, you're doing good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But you know, and here's the thing: like if you look at like how many visits I had, I came out on August 9th, and so August 6th I had 19 visitors. I had 5 visitors on the 7th. I had 8 visitors on the 8th, and on the 9th when I came out, I had 64 visitors that day, 50 visitors the next day, 32 visitors, and so it's like that was Comicsgate. You know, that was the community saying, hey, let me share it. Let me go check it out. Let me sign up for it. And I mean, they just showed right away, like within less than 24 hours of even being part of that group, on how welcoming they are, how inclusive they are, and how supportive they are. And so anyone that might be on the fence thinking, you know, whether they might want to go Comicsgate or not, my suggestion is go Comicsgate. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, well, you also have, what happens is you have people who watch certain streams. So, you know, some people might catch my stream or they might catch the replay. Well, then other people might watch, say, Shay Zombie or some of the bigger streams, maybe Narwhal or whatever. But, you know, it's just like anything else. You know, some people only watch their streams. So the more streams you go on, the more people's going to find out about hybrids, and the more people that it's kind of like a big snowball. In my experience, it's kind of like a big snowball. You know, you start off small and it just blows up as you get on more streams, because that's the way people find you. Really,
it really is, and it's a big hustle. Like as soon as I'm done here, I'm going on another stream. Like it's just, you know, that's just how it is. You know, you kick as many as you can. So, thank you. I'm at 49. That was Sarah.
I want to answer this question. In a tricky financial situation, is helping promotion still helpful? Promotion of any kind is helpful. That's just beating the bushes and getting out there. If you like a book, if you like a creator, if you connect with that creator, and you can get out there and just beat the bushes and tell people about it, or share Twitter post, or just retweet and share the link. Just tell people that is that's key is promotion.
A lot of times the creator or the creative team, they're the only ones that are sharing that thing, retweeting it, liking it, and promoting that. Even if you can't support something financially, like it, retweet it, share it, tell other people that you like, and write real comments about it, and let people know. Just like Jerry said, let people know that that you like it, that you believe in it, and that they should give their money to it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, it's another one of those little victories, because it can get discouraging when you're the only one out there, you know, beating the pavement, pounding the pavement, I should say, and trying to promote your book. And then when somebody like just out of the blue shares and writes I say organic, but it seems very unorganic when I say it that way. But somebody shares like an organic, they just like your book and they share it for just out of the blue. You didn't ask them to or anything. That's another one of those little yes, I got a little trophy.
It still matters very much.
Yeah.
And it feels good to have other people that you didn't pay to be a part of this project share it. You know, there's something huge about that.
We all like affirmation, you know. So it's a little bit of affirmation, and it helps you to, you know, keep going, keeps you motivated. So yeah, sharing is great for any creator. So what about you, Luke? What got you into comics to start with? You told me at 8 years old. Did go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. So I was actually probably a little younger than that. I was probably around 5 or 6. My mom and dad used to take me out, and we would draw. You know, they would be out all night long at the local diner with their friends. And they would take their 3-year-old with them, and so in order to occupy myself, I would have a napkin and a pen, and I would draw. That's what I would do. I would draw, and I remember my dad brought home some books, some comics that one of his coworkers had said, "Hey, I know your son's into art. You know, I've got these comics. Maybe he'll like them." One of those comics was the Mike Zeck run of Secret Wars, and and it was issue 3. I think it's issue 3, where Hulk is sitting there and he's holding up all this earth that piled up, and all these heroes are just inches away from being crushed, but it's the Hulk that's saving all these other heroes. I immediately fell in love with the Hulk. Immediately did. Man, I would read that comic book and every comic book I can get my hands on. And I remember like trying to draw all of those images. I would lay a piece of paper over and trace them, trying to figure out how to make those curves and how to draw like the guy drew in the comic book, you know, and I did that and I wore that thing out, man. But it, you know, I moved on from there to like, I remember I was buying all these muscle magazines, and I'm sure my dad was a little worried. But I'm like, I'm just trying to draw these big, strong guys. You know, I want to draw these superhero guys and stuff. And so I'd study anatomy and I would try to draw all these things. And I just really loved comic books. But yeah, that just sparked a passion that just has never gone away for comics.
So that Hulk influence, that bodybuilder influence, that's definitely Trash Man. I don't have it pulled up anymore, but yeah, I see it now after you mentioned that. I'm like, yeah, that's where that came from. So
yeah, there's a couple other little things in there, but yeah, you know, the big muscle guy, that's kind of got that Hulk influence with it. So I'm a big fan.
Okay, modern Marvel, they kind of took Banner and the Hulk and separated them so that the Hulk is intelligent now. What do you think about it?
I kind of like that, and I kind of don't. You know, I'm 50-50 on that one. You know, there's fun things that you can do with it. Like I like the idea of Hulk sitting there and, you know, at the breakfast table trying to eat with everybody, and you know, they have like an intelligent conversation. All that stuff's pretty neat, but I still like that old 70s show. I love that one.
I think I like the Brute, just the Brute coming out and back, trying to hold it back. You know,
yeah.
But I think I'm leaning that way.
Yeah, I think it's more true to the character and who Stan was trying to create.
Yeah, and I think that as far as the him being intelligent and they're trying to eat breakfast with everybody with the big hands and everything, that is cool. But I think it loses its appeal pretty quick, in my opinion. You know, that's just me. But I fairly like the Marvel universe that they created. There's some things that I didn't like, but for the most part, they were good movies. You know, so I like.
It got my family into the world that I have already lived in. You know, so it was neat when people were like, I'm like, the book is better.
It's the gateway drug.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
To comic books, but yeah, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my.
I've really enjoyed that one a lot. Yeah.
The movie got me into, going back and reading the books or some of the books. I haven't really did a whole lot of searching, but so hybrids. I should have kept it pulled up. I was going to go back and let you give a last little spiel here for it. Let me pull it up. Take 1 second. That's not it. That's it. There's not. Is it?
Hey, you want me to share my screen?
Yes, please. Right. I'm not sure I'm on the right link.
Yeah. So, Hybrids, the Sons of Gods goes live next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So, I'm going to be pushing that a lot. You're going to see me talking about it on Twitter and maybe Facebook a bit, but I understand that most of my kind of fan base is probably going to be on Twitter for this one. So So yeah, so I'm be promoting that. But yeah, it's a fun story. I've really liked it. I've liked telling it, and I hope that you like it too. I've been able to get this book into the hands of about 400 or 500 people now over the course of the series, and I hope to get it into the hands of 400 or 500 more people. It's a story that I'm passionate about, and it's more than just superheroes. It's talking about life. It's talking about things like that. It is written from my Christian worldview. It's not a Christian book, but it is written from my Christian worldview. So there is some like that, those concepts of faith that get interjected in there, much like what you would see from a Tolkien or a Lewis. Not to say that I'm on the same caliber of writing as they are, but in that same vein and field. But I've enjoyed it a lot, and so I just encourage everybody to go ahead and go buy that Indiegogo, that pre-launch page, and go ahead and sign up for that. If you sign up for that, here's the one really cool thing that I'm doing. So I mentioned those different tiers, and I mentioned the collector's pack. Well, the collector's pack, the lowest collector's pack is $50, pack A, and that's getting the standard cover. And if you go up to the holofoil, it's $55. If you go up to the Canaan White cover, it's $60. For anyone that signs up, that goes and joins that mailing list, I'm sending out a secret perk to them. And on that one, for $50, you get the collector's pack, but you get to choose what cover you want. So you can get any of those covers. And you get free shipping to the United States, all for $50. So it's 124 pages, plus all those collectibles. You get what's that?
Which purchase do you get all three covers?
You can. I'll have all three covers as the add-ons.
Okay.
But there is a perk here called the Super Box, and I'm gonna make that a featured perk. If you do the Super Box, you get all three covers and everything else that I offer, which is like a $500 value. You're getting for like $250. But there's only gonna be like right now. I think I have it 50. I think it's gonna be like 20 or 30 of those are gonna be available. But
okay.
Yeah, so that's a huge one. So you get all three covers. Now I will have the other covers as add-on perks, so you can add another cover, like add one of those covers if you like. But we are going to have a very limited number of the Canaan White cover. So.
Okay, one thing I'm interested in, artist signatures. Are you going to sign any of the books, or will you have a add-on?
I will put in there, and if people want them signed, they just request that they want them signed, and I will sign them. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, because there are some that don't want it signed. So
some of them don't. Some people don't want them signed. Now, I think with the Super Box, everything's getting signed, and I've got some. I'm going to be just some of the stuff that I'm going to be throwing in. I've got sketch covers. I'm going to do a sketch cover for issue 5 and throw that into that box. And so I've only got like 10 or 20 of those, and so I'll be doing those for the Super Box. And so there's just a whole lot of stuff that goes into that Super Box, and it's definitely. While supplies last on that one, but you basically get everything I got on that one, and so it's a pretty good deal.
All right, man, you got A+ on art, A+ on concept, and A+ on value. So, dude, you are going to knock it out of the park. I'm sure you will.
I hope so, man.
Probably make a couple million.
I doubt that, but here's my thing. I got a $5,000 funding goal. At $8,000, we add 12 more pages. Here's the really fun part. I'm working with a game developer to develop an RPG. At $10,000, everybody gets a quick play, a physical copy of the quick play that he's developed, and so that's pretty awesome. And it unlocks
awesome.
as an add-on perk, so that you can add additional ones on if you want to, because it's kind of designed that, like, if you're sitting down with 5 players, every player gets a guide, and so a quick play guide. So you've got your characters in there, pre-made characters. You can just jump into the Hybrids universe, and so he's doing a great job. And then that will hopefully Christmas-ish, we will have the full volume of the HSOG, or Hybrid Sons of God's role-playing game. So the entire actual manual for the player's guide and the GM's guide and all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, it's a cool universe that you've created, and it sounds like you've got a lot going on and a lot for the backers. So I mean, you can't get any better than that. So I will remove that for you. I didn't know if you wanted me to remove it. I just saw it was going to your desktop. Or
Yeah,
something,
I
so
actually
was
hit the wrong. I hit the wrong thing. Yeah.
But it looks like a great book. It looks like man, you're a great guy. You're easy to connect with, easy to talk to. I'm sure as more people connect with you, before long you'll be talking about 100 signups and then 150 and then 300. So, yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I hope one of these days I can brag on numbers like that.
Yeah, well, value, man. People know value when they see it. They know a good book when they see it. The ones that have been around a little while. So, yeah, they know the real deal. So, man, you're the real deal. I appreciate you coming on. So,
well, hey, thanks for having me, Jerry. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we're gonna end it right there. I want to tell you one thing though before I go. May all your dreams come true and may your imagination run wild. I'll catch you next time.